Hi, everybody. I'm Joe Appello. This is George Conner on my left. All sports talk show with Joe and George. This is our pre-Super Bowl gig.
Pre-Super Bowl rant today, baby. Yeah. Rant. We're ranting.
Our first rant is going to be what everyone has talked about and probably has beaten a dead horse, as they say, in the Rams-Saint game, the call or non-call.
The non-call.
What do you think, George, of that call or non-call?
I mean, how?
It's unfathomable.
Okay, there's a certain official that has that responsibility.
Yeah.
But how somebody doesn't throw a flag on that, so we're talking about towards the end of the game, Saints guy's wide open in the sidelines. The Ram guy comes just charging over. It was pass interference. It was helmet to helmet, and it was hitting a defenseless receiver.
Yep.
They could have called any of those three.
Yep.
They called nothing. It was just brutal. And we'll go on as the show, but to me, I mean, the NFL, it just gets harder and harder to watch because stuff like this doesn't get fixed.
Right.
But then crazy calls that do get, we can't challenge that one, but we could reverse this call or something like that. I mean, that was, there's a lot of times that, if I'm a Jets fan, and I am a Jets fan, and I'm watching a game and say, at the end of the second quarter, boy, if we had that call. Well, I mean, everything's going to change because of it. This is at the end of the game, and the Saints, if he doesn't go in, if he probably doesn't score on that play, they run some time off the clock. They kick a little chippy field goal, and the game's over.
Yeah, it was third and 10, I think it was, and if they called that play, he got first and goal, and they, in theory, could have probably knelt down or handed off 3 times.
Right.
And it would have been like 20 seconds to go, and he kicks a field goal, and then the Rams would really have no time to come down and tie the game. Now, couple views on that thing. First of all, the object of all these replays and review calls and things is to get the call right. And when you don't get the call right, it's something as egregious as is so obvious as that. It's just mind-boggling that as an official you're standing there and what are you looking at?
Yeah, where are you looking? And the ball's coming. It's not like it's an off-the-ball foul.
Right.
I mean, there's got to be a bunch of eyeballs. And
there's there's one guy right there, one guy running in on there, and they both. The guy at back of the receiver just kind of stood there and didn't make any call. Then the other guy came running in and was waving his arms like incomplete.
Yeah.
And then that was that. And everybody starts going crazy. And I don't know, maybe one quick solution would be, is there a super coaches challenge or from New York calls up and says, man, we got to look at that.
In the last 4 minutes, do you have a guy in New York watching the game on TV that hits a button? Like they do it anyway, right? I mean, a play in the last 2 minutes.
Right now, you can't challenge PIs.
Right.
From a coaching standpoint.
Correct.
So, and they're not reviewable in theory. So, obviously the Saints got screwed on that. Now, let's look at the other side of the coin. They got screwed, and they had to settle for a field goal, a go-ahead field goal. Now, the Rams come down, and they got Greg the Leg Zerloin, who's fantastic. Mm-hmm. He comes down, he kicks a game-tying field goal. Now, first of all,
57 yards, I think?
That was a winner, I think.
Oh, that was the winner. That was the winner, yeah.
The other one was a little shorter. But the point is that you let them tie the game.
Right.
Okay, now, without Todd Gurley playing basically the fourth quarter, Gurley had 4 carries for 10 yards. I mean, some people think the NFC's best back or best player. Mm-hmm. The guy has 10 yards in a championship game.
Pretty ineffective. Early in the game.
They don't say nothing. They don't say that he was injured. They don't say coach's decision.
Came back into the game here and there kind of thing. It wasn't like he was done for the day.
His production was like 10 yards. I mean, So now the Rams tie the score. We go in overtime. The Saints win the coin toss. Yep. They take the ball as they should. Breeze gets harassed, throws a dead duck, gets picked.
Yep.
Guy's on his rear end, goes right to him, picks him.
Literally. I mean, the guy has already fallen down.
So that was another bad break. And then Rams make a couple big plays, and Zerline kicks a 57-yarder to win the game and make them go to Super Bowl. Now,
and by the way, that 57-yarder I think would have been good from
77.
77.
I mean, it was a cannon.
It was above the midpoint of the uprights.
Yeah. And the other thing is that there was also, I read somewhere that they were speculating that pass to Tommy Lee Lewis, that was the non-call. They said that somebody touch it. tip it, and deflect it. And they asked one guy, he said he didn't think he did it, but somebody said they thought they saw the deflection. So in theory, that would have been a way out.
If that was the case, but if that was the case, the league would have come out by now and said, "Well, this is what happened," because the league is just getting abused by this.
Yeah. And you know what I mean? The billboards and apologies and that. You can't change it. You can't go back and play it, and it's over with then. It's just a bad break for the Saints. Yep. But you look at it, and there's another play early in the fourth quarter, I think it was maybe midway through the fourth quarter, where Goff was running into the end zone, and he got a face mask, and that wasn't called. So because of that, they settled for a field goal as opposed to having first and goal from the 3-yard line. Yep. So I mean, that could have been 7 points. That could have been ball game there too. So and you can go back and dissect every single play throughout the whole game.
Right. But there's nothing more blatant.
So blatant that was. It's not even funny. It's a shame that it had to end like that for the Saints.
So you got the Rams going to the Super Bowl now in a couple of days. They got to town today, and you could say they don't belong there.
Yeah.
That they don't have any. That they shouldn't have been there. That it was like you say, an egregious. Good word, by the way.
Yeah. Thank you.
Blown call that gets them. That gets them into the
the thing is about everyone focuses on one play. One play doesn't win or lose a game. Obviously, in that situation, it looks like it did. Yeah. But the bottom line is that there's so many situations, one way or another, in a ball game that could go good or bad for you as a team. And I think the bottom line sometimes is the break that you get, or the play that you get, or the situation where you happen to luck out. And we'll go over the Pat KC game. There's a couple of plays there that we'll talk about. But the Rams Saint game was, it was a battle back and forth. And either team could have went to the Super Bowl, and maybe should have went to the Super Bowl. But the solution, and then everyone hates Roger Goodell, this and that. But you can go back and forth and blame whoever you want. Yeah. But the bottom line is that the Saints, it's 2 years in a row they had a chance to go to further on, and they didn't. Yeah. And I still think Bree's arm didn't look great to me. So I don't think he had a zip on the ball. I mean, some of the balls he threw were balloons. Yeah. But no one's mentioned that. He didn't play in the Pro Bowl the following week. But Mahomes did. Yeah. But Brees didn't, which is kind of weird.
And I think for the Pro Bowl, the younger you are, the more likely you are to go.
Yeah. He's been there a few times. He probably is like, what?
It's in Orlando.
It was Orlando. Yeah, it wasn't Hawaii. Somebody.
I was in Orlando during the same time. I did not go to the game.
Okay. By the way. Good. You didn't miss anything. All right. So Rams Saints. I mean, I think the biggest thing about the Rams is their defensive backfield to me is very, very weak and suspect. I think they hold, they push, they shove, they don't cover well, and they kind of get by with mirrors. And I think that's going to be a telling tale in the upcoming Super Bowl, which we'll talk about later. Yeah. But I think that's going to be a huge thing. Their interior line is great with Brockers, and they got Donald and Namakasu. So they're tough. The defensive line, the linebackers are good.
Yeah. Got to find a way to put some pressure on.
You have to.
We'll do the.
Yeah, we'll have to. Yeah. And jumping ahead, Brady hasn't been sacked, and he's the only quarterback that wasn't sacked in any of the playoff games, 2 games. Yeah. So I mean, that's amazing. The past KC, that was a heck of a game too. What did you think of that game?
Well, we were texting during that.
You were venting on it.
Venting, yes. Again, an exciting game, back and forth, a lot of points, a lot of big plays. To me, it was a bad call that really changed, I think, the outcome of the game. 5 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Rams are ahead.
Let's go back to the very, very beginning. Right from this. First thing is KC wins the toss. Yeah, they defer. To me, that was ridiculous. First of all, from my point of view, and I'm saying, I said this when it happened, not later on, but you take the ball. And the reason why you take the ball.
Well, in our last show, you had mentioned that the Patriots, the normal is to defer. The Patriots took the ball against the Chargers and spent,
8-9 minutes,
something more than half the quarter to go down and score.
Yeah, and took the lead. Same thing happened with KC. KC wins, they defer. Now, from KC's point of view, if I'm KC, I take that ball, bang, 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 go down the field. So the Patriots, we're not afraid of you. We're home. Get the crowd going in a frenzy. Yeah. You take a 7-0 lead, and you're good. You set the tone. Instead, they deferred. New England gets the ball. What do? Brady dissects them for, was it 8-minute 12-play drive.
It was longer than the
week before.
The Chargers first
Yeah,
drive.
yeah. Comes down there and puts one in.
Yep.
And right away, the crowd's sitting there on their hands for a good 7-8 minutes. Mahomes, everybody was sitting on the sidelines waiting to get back in there. And cause from that point on, I think they scored the 31 points.
Yeah.
After and the Patriots really didn't stop them after that. But so that was the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, then go ahead.
So gets towards the end of the game. Patriots are down 7. 5 minutes to go in the game. They're not in field goal range or anything else. They're in their own. They're on their side of the field. I think like 35 or 40.
40, yeah.
3rd and 7.
Yep.
They finally got some pressure on Brady, which they were not great at. The guy reaches over the offensive lineman and clearly hits Brady on the front shoulder as he's in the act of throwing.
Right.
They call roughing the passer.
Right.
The pass was incomplete, so the Patriots would have to punt at that point. They're not going to go for it on 3rd and 7 from their own 35.
Right.
So you could say, okay, well, if it's a good call, which is okay, no big deal.
Yep.
That's not roughing the passer. They punt it away. If the Chiefs can get 2 first downs and hey, maybe a field goal out of it.
Yeah.
They could ice the game.
I kept the Pats on the field. That was the biggest thing.
Kept them on the field, kept the drive going, and next thing you know, they tie it up. And so to me, there's only one quarterback in the entire league that gets that call, and it's TB12.
Yeah.
Ben Roethlisberger is never going to get that call.
Or Cam Newton.
Or Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Any
the big strong guys.
It's just. And it's too bad. It happens in the NBA too, where the star player gets the foul call more often than the journeyman.
I think the officials are so conscious of trying to protect these quarterbacks that they saw the hand around his head and threw the flag. Yeah, obviously wrong, but I mean.
But again, there's another case where we can review this or we can challenge that, but we can't challenge this.
Right.
And to me, it gets harder and harder to watch.
Right, it is hard, and and we said it before, an athlete's big, strong, fast, and so skilled that it is really, really hard to officiate. Even like the one play with Edelman, that the buff punt that he didn't muff. Right. It looked like every other time you saw it, like he touched it, didn't touch it, touched it, didn't touch it. Yeah. You couldn't tell. And you slow everything down. Did it touch his forearm? Did it touch his bicep? Did it touch his hand? Did it touch his thumb? Touch his finger? And the ruling on the field was a fumble. And then he reversed that, which it looked like he didn't, with all the angles and all the.
I never saw an angle where it looked like he did touch it. Yeah. But in live action, sure it did. But there's a case. Okay, well, so you have review or whatever else, and it's right.
Yeah, they got it right. Yeah. But if they didn't have the review, it would have been a turnover.
Right.
That's the point. Yeah. So.
He would not have been able to advance it in the end zone.
Advance it,
They would have the ball
you can't advance
20-yard line or whatever
happens
like that.
Yeah.
Now, in the defense of the Patriots, there was some pretty rough coverages, we'll call it, of Gronkowski that doesn't get called, and I think that goes to the same point of Roethlisberger doesn't get roughing the passer calls.
Good analogy.
Whereas Gronkowski, he's big, he's a monster.
Like LeBron in basketball.
You're going to be able to rough him up a little bit and get away with it.
Right.
And frankly, that's the only possible way to cover the game.
Right.
He's that good.
Right. Wouldn't it be funny if they had a football league or somewhere? Anything goes. When you're covering anything goes. You push them, tackle them.
They did have that. It was the 1970s.
The leather helmets. Yeah. I mean, it almost gets to that point where and defense go off, and you don't know what you can do, what you can't do. So it changes.
And you can review is a catch complete, is it incomplete, and that's still really hard to tell the difference now. The ball touched the ground, it's incomplete because it touched the ground. Yeah. But then there's another one. Well, it touched the ground, but your
hands underneath it. Did it move?
It didn't move. You know? So it's like I say, it's just.
Yeah.
Either get rid of all reviews.
About 5 or 6 of those in that game.
Yeah. Either get rid of all reviews. Yeah. Or let the coach, hey, you've only got 3.5. Yeah. Review anything you want.
Yeah.
And then if Rex Ryan's back in the league, he'll blow 2 of his challenges on something ridiculous.
Then the other thing about, to go quickly back to the Ram Saint game, I guess he said 4 of the guys were from South Carolina.
Southern Cal,
yeah. So Southern Cal, I mean, yeah. So they're saying, well, they want the Rams to be in the Super Bowl. Come on.
I'm not buying
God almighty. That's ridiculous.
An interesting thing, though, I just heard on the radio the other day was I think there's 2 different companies, but it's a chain of vision stores, one in Louisiana and there's another one in Texas. They're offering, so if you're out there listening and if you're an NFL official, a free vision screening anytime between now and opening day of next year. I thought an interesting point, and will we ever know? I don't know, but Brady threw a brutal interception late in the game that got called back or whatever else because one of the Rams guys, Chiefs guys, was
D Ford was offside,
lined up in the neutral zone there.
Lines up like a foot over the ball, about 8 feet from the ball. I mean, how do you do that?
Yeah.
As a player,
and
it's kind of mighty.
To me, I mean, again, the throw was awful.
Yep.
But Brady's that smart. Does he say, okay?
I don't think so.
Look around. This guy's in a neutral zone. I got a free play.
You saw the flag though, but I don't know. Yeah, that we don't know.
And if I have a free play, maybe I do try to force something in there because I think almost as good as Brady is at hitting the target. I think one of his great assets as a quarterback is throwing it away.
Yeah.
Now, he can throw it away because he's got such a great offense, he can always come back.
Yeah.
But we were talking earlier today, he's just got that quick release that to get pressure on him is tough. They've got a great offensive line, but he's just not back there very long, and he'll get rid of it. If the pressure's there, he's just going to get rid of it. He'll
throw the ball at someone's ankle.
Yeah.
It's not going anywhere, boom.
Yep.
But I think the thing most impressive about Brady for me is that his mental processing at the line of scrimmage. He'll go up there and he'll look, and he'll read the defense and he'll kill, and he'll audible to another player, change the coverage or change the blocking scheme, and he's right most of the time. As was Tony Romo on that game as he was announcing it.
Yeah.
He was absolutely amazing. On his play-by-play, he would say, Gronk's got single coverage up top. He's going to Gronk. He would.
Yeah.
He'd say, they overload on the right. We're going to go to the left with Sonny Michel, and they did. And it was almost like he was in a huddle. It was amazing.
Yeah. Tony Romo's, I think, doing a great job.
Incredible.
In that transition. He's going to get to the Super Bowl as a very young broadcaster.
Yeah.
A lot of on social media, a lot of critics like, Tony Romo's saying what Tom Brady should do. Well, what's he going to do, guys? Well, I mean, he's in the booth. That's what he's paid to do. Yeah. And I think he's doing a good job.
I think the thing is that he's taking more chances now as far as saying that stuff. He always knew that prior to that, but he didn't know if that was his. I read an article where he didn't know if that was his role to do that, to be able to try to predict things, because if he starts saying he should do this and they're not doing that, and he didn't want to overstep his boundaries. So, but now he got to the point where he feels pretty good at what he was doing, and he was actually amazing to me.
Yeah.
And fascinating to listen to. I just thought and Jim Nance is fantastic.
Yep.
And they're a great pair, and I'm sure Nance has mentored him, and that's been a slam dunk home run since day one with that guy. I mean, the guy's a scratch golfer. The guy's a smart guy. I mean, it's just amazing what he's done on. And now he's a free agent at the end of the year too. Romo.
Oh, really?
His contract's up for CBS. I guess he's making like $4 million a year, they said. Okay. So, in theory, he can go to any network he wants and get paid whatever he wants. But they say that, from the way Romo is, CBS gave him a chance. Nance has been mentoring him, and he'll probably stay there. And I'm sure they're going to take care of him financially. I mean, I don't think that's an issue.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a big issue with Romo as some of these other guys. I mean,
Romo, he's not doing this because he needs the money.
Yeah.
Hey, it's nice. It's nice to get paid an extra $4 million and keep $2 million of it or whatever else. But it's a hobby type of thing to do, and be able to stay involved in football, which is obviously his passion.
You don't have to travel. So all the brutal physical attributes. So
I don't think it's not going to be. Scott Boras isn't going to come in.
I mean, then if he goes somewhere else, you have to work with another announcer, and then I'm sure
it'd be pretty interesting if he went to NBC though, because then he could be on the Golf Channel too.
That's right. Yeah. So maybe this is the next thing too. Yeah. Or maybe he could
I don't know if I want to see him.
Maybe he could be on the tour.
He's not that good.
I thought he was a scratch golfer though, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's scratched, but that's he's not close to tour quality.
Whoa.
Hey,
wow. Hey.
All right, so Super Bowl coming up in Atlanta.
Well, let's finish up with that Pack game a little bit. The other thing I thought was interesting is that in overtime. Okay, you're going back and forth in all these possessions and whatnot, and so you know that it's going to come down to a big play or a break here and there. Like you said, the offsides with D Ford and Brady throws a pick, no pick.
Yep.
You've had 3 on that last overtime winning touchdown drive. I think he had 3 third and third and longs and complete every single one of them on like fingertip catches, catch or no catch type thing. And then I don't know why Kansas City didn't like call a couple timeouts there in overtime. Let's just slow them down a little bit, gain momentum.
Especially right when we're down at the goal line. Okay.
Yeah, the guys are shot, they're exhausted. Rex Burkhead, who's totally
and they're panicking. Maybe panicking a little bit, like, oh man, we did all this, now we're going to lose it. Right. I agree.
That didn't make any sense to me. And then. The other thing too is people say, what do you think about the overtime protocol? How it works now? Where sometimes if you win a coin flip, you win the game.
And in the Patriots game, that was true. Now, 3.5 hours before that, Saints won the toss and they didn't win. So to me, that's 50-50 right there. Now, the odds, I'm sure, if you looked at all the overtime games, I think it probably does favor.
I think it's like 80% of the team that wins a coin toss. Just guess. Nobody's going to call me that. It's a lot. I'm going to call me that 80% of the time the team that wins a coin toss.
But certainly it's a huge advantage. And is it fair?
Some people say, and this would be my take, in playoff games or big games, I think you just play one extra period.
Play a full 15 minutes?
Period, no matter what, Now, if it's tied at the end of the period, I guess you could keep on going. But, I mean, that's only in a playoff situation or elimination situation. Now, people say, you win the coin toss, you basically win the game. Well, first of all, you have another possession if you hold them to a field goal.
Right.
All right, now, here's the thing is Kansas City, hold them to a field goal. Then you get the ball back, Mahomes goes down, scores a touchdown, you win. Now, they didn't hold them to it.
Only give up one first down. Play defense.
They didn't hold them. So, I mean, so you can look at both ways. Jeff Saturday on NFL Today said he goes, I wouldn't change. He goes, if you lose a coin toss, then hold them to a field goal. Or get the ball back. And then your team can go ahead and win.
As the Rams did.
If you can't do that, then you don't deserve to win anyway. So, I mean, you can... I don't think there's any real answer. You got to. How about the college way they do it? 25-yard. That's crazy. No. Back and forth like that.
I don't think the players' union would ever do that.
They would never do that.
Way too many more plays.
There'd be a lot of overs.
Lots of overs.
But I think.
Now it used to be that they would play 15 minutes.
Yeah.
There still is like in the regular season. There's still a time, right? Because was it Randall Cunningham? Who was
if it's not resolved in 15 minutes, it can be a tie.
It can be a tie, and it was a couple quarterbacks ago for the Eagles. It wasn't Cunningham. It was after Cunningham.
Jeff Garcia,
and he didn't know.
It
got to the end.
That was Donovan McNabb.
Donovan McNabb, that's it.
Yeah. He didn't know the rule. You're right.
Didn't know that the game would actually end in time.
Nobody told him
regular season.
Yeah. But as far as that goes, I like a 15-minute extra period, just like basketball does. 5-minute overtime or whatever. At least it's not deciding a coin flip in theory. But I mean, you can look at it both ways.
But you've, I don't know. And who knows all the other arguments that go into it. 15 more minutes. Well, that's going to upset now. 60 minutes.
Then we're going to get hurt. Then we're going to get injuries, and then more overtime for the workers. I mean, you got to. How often does it happen? I mean. I think this is the first time that both conference championship games went over. It was. It was the first time ever. Yeah. That was astronomical ratings on the TV too. That was it really was a lot of fun to watch. I mean,
it was
either way, and you can make an argument that any of the 4 teams could be in the Super Bowl. All 4 were pretty equal.
And you can make a pretty strong argument that the 2 teams that are at home should be in the Super Bowl.
Right. Yeah. How good is Patrick Mahomes? Oh my God, that guy is phenomenal. Yeah. 23 years old.
Yeah. Young guy.
Now Kansas City, because of what happened in that game, fired their defensive coordinator. Bob Sutton has been there years.
Yeah.
He went out and hired Steve Spagnuolo, who there was rumor that they might hire Sexy Rexy Ryan. He wanted that job, but he didn't get it.
Yeah.
They probably didn't want to bring the circus to town. So
as a coordinator, you could, he's still a good defensive mind, I think. But there's, like you say, there's a lot of baggage.
I think a lot with him is he's been out of the game for a couple of years now.
Yep.
And I don't know. He, with all the coaches that are getting hired, no names or not no names, that's probably not the right term, or inexperienced.
Proven ineffective coaches, you can say that.
Guys are OCs and DCs and all these teams that we've never heard of.
Yep.
Getting hired, and how come like a guy like Rex Ryan hasn't even been considered for anywhere?
Yeah.
The 2 coaches in the game for Super Bowl, Brian Flores of the New England is going to coach at, I think, Miami, is it? And then one of the guys from the Rams is going to coach at Cincinnati, or vice versa, one of the two. And so they're going soon. It's not official yet until the game's over. They can't announce that, but that's the rumor. So it's amazing how all these coaches are jumping everywhere, and they're all looking for the next Sean McVay. That's the big thing out, the next Sean McVay.
Yeah.
Now, McVay, he's an interesting story. He's 33 years old. They say he remembers everything.
Hey, when we were 33, we remember a lot too.
True. I can't remember what it was 2 hours ago. But with McVay, I guess his grandfather was John McVay, who was coach of the Tampa Bay Bucks back in the day.
Yep.
And he's the one, when they asked him after the game, "What'd you think of your team's execution?" He goes, "I'm all for it." That was the classic. So I guess he grew up at his, at the knee of his grandfather, and at all the practices, going to games, charting plays, cleaning footballs when he was little, all the way up through.
Yeah.
I think he played in the MAC or something in Eastern Michigan, one of these smaller schools.
Okay.
And then he ended up coaching and used all his the nepotism that he knew, people knew of him, and he coached throughout the thing.
Yeah, the network. He knows everybody. Everybody knows him. Sure.
Yeah. So because I guess him and Belichick were buddies, our buddies, or whatever.
Yep.
And I think it's very, very difficult for a guy, no matter how brilliant he is, and he's brilliant, to coach at 33 years old.
Yeah.
Coaching guys are as your age, close to your age, or older than you are. That's got to be in every level.
Yeah.
As an older person being told by a younger person what to do or
this is what we're going to do, and now from what I can remember from the dad and everything else, I'm sure he's a good leader, and that's what a coach is, more than a strategist, a leader. But this is what we're going to do, and here's why.
Right.
Or just take the approach. I think this is going to work. If it doesn't work, we'll get rid of it. But then the team buys in, and
the player says, "Well, you're 33 years old. I'm 35. I've been around. I've been playing in the league 12 years. How long have you played in the league? Played in the league,
right?
So I mean, I'm sure you're going to get some of that.
Yeah.
So that's got to be a unique situation. And then you figure your assistant coaches. He's got Wade Phillips.
Yeah.
Right. As a defense coordinator, was he like 98?
No, he's not that.
I'm only kidding.
His dad
he's 60-something.
No,
he's 70, I think.
There's another case of Bum Phillips, was the longtime coach of the Houston Oilers.
Yeah, I think Wade Phillips is about 70.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a perfect example. I mean, good cop, bad cop there. But, I mean.
Yep. But another son growing up in the league, around the game.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yep.
But,
I used to love Bum Phillips.
Yeah.
In his light blue polyester suit with the 10-gallon hat.
Yeah, Earl Campbell.
Yeah, that was the playbook.
Yeah.
Pitch it to Earl going left, pitch to Earl going right.
Yeah.
Earl, you're only going to carry the ball 50 times today. That's okay.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But, so Super Bowl's coming up.
Absolutely. Biggest game of the year. There'll be millions and billions of dollars bet on the game, legally and otherwise, throughout the United States.
And abroad, I'm sure.
And abroad, yeah.
Huge amounts of money spent on advertising.
For entertainment purposes only, the line's like 2, 2.5, 3, somewhere in that area. 56 is the under/over, somewhere in that area. Okay. It'll probably change by game time depending on where the money goes in Vegas.
Mm-hmm. Weather, it doesn't look like weather's going to, well, there's a dome.
It's a dome, so no
factor. But I actually heard today they might actually open the dome.
Yeah, it depends on
which the owner of...
they prefer that.
The owner of the Falcons was on, I was listening to radio, and he's all about opening. He wants to open the dome while everybody's there.
And Chick-fil-A's closed on Sunday.
He's very impressed. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And they have a big Chick-fil-A thing in Atlanta, too.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
They can't serve it on Sunday.
Thursday and Monday games, that's it. And then obviously anything else that's going on there, Mercedes-Benz.
Imagine all the money they lose on Super Bowl not being served on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey.
One of the interesting things, I don't know the last time you've gone to a professional sports arena, but it's expensive.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
I don't know how people do it.
$9 for a beer and $6 for a bad hot dog and everything else. Yep. When the Falcons moved to their new stadium, they cut all concession prices by 50%.
Mm-hmm. Or for the Super Bowl, it's $5 beers and $2 hot dogs or something.
And I think that's who they are. That's
good.
They're just
of course,
they're not pillaging.
$9,000 for a seat, but but the hot dogs are $2.
Hey,
that's all you can afford if you get in there. That's all the money you got left.
You can't afford the chili dog. Yeah. You can only afford the.
Can't afford the park either. I tell you when.
Also it's also a great stadium for public transportation.
Yes.
And they do a good job in Atlanta moving people around and stuff like that. So. if you're one of those people out there that have a ticket,
I told you when I went down I visited my friend Mike in Dallas, and the parking at AT&T Stadium was $200 within walking distance of the stadium.
$200
just to park. There was another maybe a half mile or so down the road with parking lots or garages where it was $25 or $50 to park, and you take a shuttle to the stadium. $200 just to park. Now,
that's saying thank you to your fans.
It was mind-boggling, yeah.
Yeah.
And the bottled water was $12.
Yeah.
Margarita was $25, and canned beer was $18.
How big was the can?
A regular 12-ounce can. Yeah. Wow. Imagine you go with 3 other guys. I got this round, $110. You're done for the night.
But yeah, I mean, hey, obviously, Jerry Jones knows what he's doing. He's making a fortune or whatever else. But so you're a longtime Cowboys fan, and say, okay, we're moving to a new stadium. And by the way, if you want the season ticket like you've had for all these other years, now you got to buy a personal seat license or whatever else. Thank you very much, and we appreciate all your business. And it's going to cost you $200 to park.
Yeah.
And if you want to have 2 beers and a hot dog during the game, that's going to run you another $60.
Well, that goes to your point where it's how do you afford to go to? How does a family afford to go to these games? I don't understand.
Yeah.
And I saw some on ESPN. They had some kind of thing where these guys were selling tickets, and they're ripping people off. And they're supposed to pick up their tickets the day before, and the guys go to get their tickets. It was Seattle. Seattle fans going to the Seattle Super Bowl in Seattle when Seattle was playing the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I forget where it was, but the ticket, they paid $1,800 each ticket or something.
Yep.
And they went down there for tickets, and they never got them.
Yeah, or you get them in their counterfeit tickets, and they already know that. Okay, you meet the guy. Okay, hey, thanks.
And the guy kept emailing, they haven't come through yet. They'll be here tomorrow, blah blah. And they never got them.
Yeah,
never got anything. So
yeah,
I don't know. That was crazy. But
and I think that one of the downside of the Super Bowl is because of how it works is the tickets are available or whatever else and this and that, and they're so expensive. Is you get a lot of corporate type fans there, which has always been kind of a knock on the Jets and the Giants, because it's so close to the city and all. So you don't necessarily get the same atmosphere as you would if it was.
Not sure how it works for players as far as tickets go. I guess they get X amount per player.
Sure, I'm sure players get an allotment, teams get an allotment because.
Just say one of these players that don't have a lot of requests for tickets, which is probably rare, but you take some tickets and sell them, scalp them.
Yeah.
You make. And
I'm sure there's.
I know a friend of mine that was a head coach at Westcon in Denver, and he used to have tickets to the Final Four every year for basketball. And he'd go there and go to the hotel room, watch the game in his hotel room, and scalp the 4 tickets that he got, and make about $2, $3, $4, $5 grand.
Really?
And come back to Danbury, watch the game on TV in the hotel room.
Wow.
He went to all the other events leading up to it.
Exactly.
But as far as game time, the seats weren't that great, and he scalped them, and he came home with like $2, $3, $4, $5 grand.
Is that guy going to get in trouble if this story gets out?
He's retired. He's all right.
The name's being withheld.
John Smith, John. They all do it though. All the coaches do that. It's kind of a perk that they get. Unwritten rule. But as far as this game goes, Mike, who are you picking right now? Just come on with it, George. What do you got?
It pains me, but I got to say the Patriots are going to win.
Yeah.
They're that good. They're that well coached.
It's so funny because
Belichick with a chance to, give him 2 weeks to put some new wrinkles into the game plan to expose, like you said, the secondary is not great.
I think they're going to be exposed big time.
You can make sure you're protecting Brady and put two guys, run a 2-man route, and you're going to get somebody open. And if you don't get somebody open, you're going to get the call anyway, so it's okay.
The thing is that my take on the whole thing is that it's funny, you just talk to general people. Not general people, that's not a good term, but people in general, I guess I should have said.
Okay.
One person likes the Rams, one person likes the Pats.
Yeah.
And if you're a Pat fan, obviously you're adamant that they're not going to ever lose.
Yeah.
But if you're just a general fan that doesn't care who, doesn't have a favorite, it doesn't really root for either team.
Yeah.
A lot of people think the Rams are going to win. Now, they're based on the season and based on talent. Now, my take on the whole thing is this: 36 of the Pats, the New England Patriot players have gone to a Super Bowl. 4 players on the Rams have gone to a Super Bowl. Have played in the Super Bowl. Not gone to them. Yeah. Have played in the Super Bowl. So now you got 36, 9 times.
And I wonder, of the 36, how many have played in 3, 4?
Yeah.
Some of them, right?
Some of them have.
I mean, Brady obviously played in
Gronk,
8.
Brady,
Edelman.
Yeah, McCourty. I mean, those guys have been there for a while.
Yeah.
So I mean, you cannot put a number or a value on that. To me, that it's invaluable.
Yeah.
I mean, the experience, you know what to do. One of the biggest things is like the way Super Bowl runs. Yeah, the first week after you make the Super Bowl, basically, what their pets do. I know they do this. They take care of all their tickets and all the personal stuff.
Yep.
They get the tickets for the wives, the kids, the relatives, mom, dad, all their friends. They get it all done, and they get to the Super Bowl site on Sunday or Monday and deal with the media. But the game plan and everything's put in that week before, and they're ready to go, and they tune it up all week long. Whereas the Rams, since they haven't done that before, are probably scrambling, still getting tickets, still dealing with all this other peripheral stuff.
Yeah.
And I think you really lose focus that way.
Sure.
And you know how to, all the little tricks of the trade. And it's not a big deal to you to go to all this fanfare that you have for the week of hype or 2 weeks of hype.
Sure. Yeah, if you've done it 3, 4, 5 times, whatever else,
you know how to do it.
I'm going to skip it this time, or
know what to say or know what to do.
We can leave early, whatever it happens to be.
Right. Yeah. And I think that speaks volumes of what's going to happen in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I think maybe the Rams, with the exception of the secondary, have in a lot of positions have more talent.
Right.
But management, been there before, experience.
Right.
Now, that being said, if the Rams win the coin toss and don't defer, you have a chance to, okay, let's get into this game the right way.
What do you do if you're the Rams and you win the coin toss?
Take the ball.
Take the ball.
Yeah. You got a chance now to get into the game the right way and settle all those nerves. And now, okay, I remember, I've heard it from a number of guys that the first hit in the Super Bowl, if you've never been in a Super Bowl, obviously you're going to be nervous. This is a whole different thing. The first time you get hit, you're like, oh, okay, this is just a game.
That's a ball game.
This is a football game like I've been playing since I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
So get your offense on the field now.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. Now, if you get your offense on the field and you go 3 and out, and you don't convert on 3rd and 15,
or do you think your defense can take it, can hit Brady a few times and set the tone? So I mean, you can look at it.
You'd like to think your defense can hit Brady 3 or 4 times and stop on the first down, but the last 2 playoff games against the Chargers, against the Chiefs,
you get touched.
You don't want to see that.
No, you get touched
for the first drive.
If I'm playing defense against him, I'm blitzing one guy from different angles all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Just might catch him once every 5 possessions. That might be
or it's like the NBA phrase of made him change the shot. Make him throw it early. Make him throw it before a route develops or something else.
Yeah, because you got Namagatsu and you've got Aaron Donald in the middle, who are 2 of the best. And but they're in the middle, and usually it doesn't faze Brady at all. Now if you put Donald on the end or Sue on the end to free them up a little more space, then. Yeah, he'll elbow right around.
Whatever, run stunts.
Right.
Get some linebacker involved, like you say, blitz. How many different blitz packages can you have?
Well, somebody said, and Greg Zerloin's a weapon as a field goal kicker. He is, but if you got to rely on kicking field goals against the Patriots, I don't think you have a chance either.
And that, early in the Saints game, to jump way back to the beginning of the show, they had, the Saints had to settle for field goals with 1st and goal a couple of times early in that game. One of those goes in and it really changed the complexion.
Huge.
They never were able to put the Rams away when they had a lot of opportunities in that first quarter. So.
That's the thing, the enormity of these games. Every single play, every single penalty, every single call is so important and it has a domino effect on the rest of the game. Mm-hmm. I think that's what, and that's where like the experience of Brady and the Pats come in, where they know how to stay the course. They know what they have to do. They know when to throw to Gronk. They know when to throw the ball to backfield to James White. They know when to run Sonny Michel. Now Sonny Michel has emerged as a top back. He had a lot of injuries at the beginning of the year, so I guess now he's totally healthy. And James White, I think he leads the league in yards after catch, yards after contact or something.
Yeah. And again, that's a team from the running standpoint, where the Patriots, they had kind of been like that running back by committee type of thing. Yeah. They really haven't had that feature back.
And then they had they had Rex Burkhead, who they basically rested till the 4th quarter, and then he got fresh legs and just and ran the ball down the throat.
Yep.
I mean, that's what Belichick is so brilliant on that. They're
just to think he could have been a Jets coach.
He called Lawrence Taylor the best player he ever coached.
Yeah.
So he didn't say anything about Brady yet. But it's true.
But anyway, I think. So your pick is.
I picked the Pats. Yeah, I think.
Think it's a close game?
I don't. I think it's 10 to 14 points.
So I can be in bed by 8 o'clock?
You got to see the Maroon 5 halftime show. You can't miss that. Are you kidding me?
I think I will miss the halftime show. Maroon 5.
Maroon 5, yeah, a little Adam Levine act.
I think they were popular before before most of the players were born.
You know, just sing a little Moves Like Jagger. That's going to be the big one.
Look at Joe predicting the playlist for.
I'm going over on the national anthem. That's being sung.
Okay, here we go.
That's being sung by what's her name here? Aretha Franklin. What is she? Yeah, I think it's Aretha Franklin because last night passed away. Yeah, I think it's Aretha Franklin singing the national anthem. Okay. That's good. She'll.
What is the over under on that?
Usually it's about 2 minutes, 2:05. Yeah, something like that. I was looking
if you're not aware and you need something to do on Sunday,
these prop bets,
there's 5,700 prop bets.
It's amazing. They have like
if the first scorer is a safety, right?
Yeah, they have like the quarterback yardage, like 205 to 215 is X amount, 215 to 225 is X amount as far as the payoffs. Okay. So at the end of the game, if Brady has 305 and you bet between 305 and 315 or whatever, yeah, you win like 1,200 to 1.
So it's like Randy Edsall's contract at UConn.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then crazy score if the first score is on a safety.
Yeah, or touchdown, or
if the kickoff gets run back, or all that kind of
all
stuff.
those prop bets. There's a million of them.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it is.
Heads or tails.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And Matt Slater, he called heads in the overtime game in the Pack game, and always calls heads.
He always calls heads.
Always calls heads, and he got a pretty good rate there.
Okay.
So it's a little insider tip there.
I think. I don't know. That sounds to me like going into a casino and just putting something on red or black, right?
It's the same. Yeah. Allegedly 50-50 chance.
Now that states are moving to legalize sports betting, this and that and the other thing, the amount of money that say a state can take in, because that's all going to be. I'm not sure, but I think in the state of Connecticut, the state might take a little bit of tax on that.
Oh yeah, they definitely get some revenue on that.
Kind of joking.
And then the sports team to get money back from that too. So that's going to be a whole thing.
The league's getting money too.
League's getting money, yeah. So I mean, that's going to be like.
But I would. Not that all the money bet is going to be on legal channels and stuff like that, but to get a concept of how much money is actually bet on the Super Bowl has got to be astounding.
It's amazing. Here's a good one. If I say this the right way, the winner of the Pro Bowl, the team that won the Pro Bowl, each player, if you win a Pro Bowl, say AFC, you won a Pro Bowl, that player, his check is going to be more than the check of the Super Bowl runner-up.
Really?
Yep. Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
Which doesn't really make a heck of a lot of sense to me.
I think what makes sense to me about that is you got to get guys to go to the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, so many. It used to be in Hawaii. It would be the week after the Super Bowl.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that Pro Bowl right now.
You want to talk about the Pro Bowl?
We do. I do.
Okay.
Just about 5 minutes.
I want to say one thing before you do. I was in Orlando Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the week preceding the Pro Bowl. I got to Disney Springs. It was used to be downtown Disney. I saw a little tiny booth where they had a little promo for the Pro Bowl. That was it.
Okay.
No billboards on the highway. No mention in and out of the airport.
Lost its luster, hasn't it?
Nobody cares.
Yeah, nobody cares.
But like I say, it used to be the week after the Super Bowl in Hawaii, which first world problems. Oh, I got to go to Hawaii.
So I watched it.
But a long way.
It reminded me.
You're the guy that watched it.
Only guy. It reminded me of the touch football game we have at Thanksgiving with your family.
Okay.
Is what it reminded me of. Like who and it was unbelievable. It was such a waste of time. They had first of all, they changed it to have running time. Okay. So it was like half a game. So
no clock stoppage on an incomplete pass, ball out of bounds.
Incomplete pass, right? Out of bounds, it stops, but they started right up again as soon as the players are back, near the ball. So it's basically running time.
Okay.
Then back and forth they go with. They had each team had 3 quarterbacks. They both played about a quarter, maybe a little more than that.
Yeah.
And then there was literally if you run the ball or catch the ball, as soon as someone touches you or just stops you moving forward, play's over with.
So it's almost like a walkthrough on a Friday afternoon.
And then toward the end of the game, they had Barkley, Ezekiel Elliott, and Mike Evans were playing defense for the NFC.
Like secondary?
Yeah. Yep. And Evans had a pick. And then he had a pick, and they started throwing the ball everywhere. There were lateral everywhere. It was such a joke. And they're all hugging and kissing and lovey-dovey and, laughing. And I'm like, this is crazy.
And I mean, it is. I mean, it's what the game's become. Nobody cares. There's nothing.
But Jason Garrett-led team were shut out for 3 quarters.
Shocking.
Yeah, coaching NFC, the best players in the world, and he can't get score a point in 3 quarters. Good job, big guy. Yeah, you're something. I think that guy is. That's not starting that one. I was like, are you kidding me?
So,
anyway.
So not a fan of the Pro Bowl, I think.
I am not. Not anymore. Not anymore.
Are you a fan of the other All-Star games?
I think they're all trying to get better. I think
basketball used to be awesome.
Yeah, well now they pick the teams now and divide up. So
they do like the
at least that game
the playground one.
Yeah, at least that game you can highlight and make great passes and flow around a little bit. And then baseball, the winner gets the home field advantage in the World Series. So I mean, those to me a little more. I don't know the answer to football, to be honest with you.
It might be this is what it is.
They're all worried about getting hurt, this and that, and having a good time, and they're all.
The odds of having a career-ending injury in football or baseball and basketball is not clearly as high as in the NFL. So if you take the hard hitting out of the NFL, maybe that's the way to go.
Yeah.
I used to watch. I haven't seen them in a while, but the college kind of ceremony all-star type games, they would have all kinds of
football
rules.
About?
Yeah, football.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's a showcase.
You can't blitz, can't do this, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And like you say, it's a showcase. And
then they had the skills competition before that, the night before, which was, again, it was only certain players, but then that was kind of interesting. They had quarterbacks showing the targets and things like that, and the obstacle course, and they had a dodgeball game.
A dodgeball game.
Dodgeball game, and the AFC won that too. But that was God. Obviously, I have nothing to do. I'm watching that crap. All right, let's do a little baseball. We're running out of time here. Okay. Baseball. Mets kind of stayed pat with what they got. Word out that Cespedes is not going to be available.
Yeah, I think I've said that before. You can't go to spring training counting on Cespedes to play. If he plays, it's a bonus. Yep. I don't know that we'll see him at all. They did pick up Justin Wilson from the Cubs.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Left-handed reliever, 2-year, $10 million, nothing big. Yep. Well, outside of players, in this, Sandy Alderson was basically a league-appointed GM. Stepped down away from the Mets back in June, July.
He's older too. He's late 60s, right?
Had cancer that came back. He's feeling better now. He's healthy. Basically came out and said that he doesn't deserve to go back to the Mets because he just didn't do a good job there. But it was kind of a feel-good story that the A's picked him up as like an advisor type thing. Yep. And he'd spent a lot of his career in the Moneyball, Billy Bean system and all that. Yeah. So I'm kind of happy to see.
He's a good guy.
It's kind of a nice story.
Yeah.
I'm loving the Mets.
They
just keep getting better.
Yeah, they look fine. I like what they got. They got a chance. The only problem, I think, honest to God, their biggest detriment is the division they're in. Yeah, it's a tough division with the Nationals and the Phillies. And I think the Phillies sign Harper pretty soon. And
either the Phillies or the Nationals are going to get Harper. I think it's Phillies as well, so they're getting better.
And I think the White Sox got Machado. But I think that's the way that goes.
You go play with you told me on the last show. His brother-in-law.
Yeah, Fonzo's brother.
His sisters.
The other thing too, right? The other thing too, with they were saying about Machado, not Harper, is that Machado might take a 1-year deal for like $30-40 million, and then kind of play his way into like a better attitude.
Yes.
Hustle, and then look for the big one after that.
Harper doesn't have that luggage.
Doesn't have luggage.
Harper's, he's a good player by all accounts. He's a good locker room guy. He plays hard. This that Machado doesn't have that rep.
That's the latest scuttlebutt that he might just take going. Now, I hope the Yankees don't say, "Oh, let's take him." They don't anyway. That. But Yankees signed Adam Ottaviano, if I'm pronouncing it right. Okay. He was quoted saying he could strike out Babe Ruth. Yeah, of course you can. Babe Ruth's
dead.
Yeah, dead. But it
means he finds the strike zone 3 out of 7.
Exactly. he was totally misquoted on that because he said that. He meant that he knew how to pitch him, and it was back in the day. He threw him off speed, something, whatever. So he kind of clarified that. And he's wearing the number 0.
Really?
Which is interesting for the Yankees.
Okay.
No one's worn that in a long, long time. I don't know who the last guy was, as a matter of fact. Because all the other single-digit numbers are retired.
Yeah.
So he's
at 1 through 9 they're all retired?
All retired, yeah.
So Jeter had the last one.
So Let's go to the 1 is who? Billy Martin, right?
Yep.
2 is Jeter. 3 is Babe Ruth. 4 is Lou Gehrig. 5 is Joe DiMaggio.
Yep.
6 is Joe Torre. Did they retire his number? 7 is Mickey Mantle. 8 Yogi Berra. And 9 is Roger Maris, I would think, right?
Yeah.
The only question would be number 6.
Number 6?
Yeah, I think that's.
Yeah.
I don't think Joe Torre. I think Joe Torre wore 6, though. I thought.
And then you go over to Queens and you go to the stadium there and we got Tom Seaver. We got it's pretty bad. But speaking of retired numbers, so all stadiums. Actually, Manny Rivera was the last guy to wear number 42.
Yep.
Because the Jackie Robinson Foundation, Major League Baseball got together.
Right.
All teams retired number 42.
Right.
So in any stadium, back on the wall.
Right.
Kind of a year-long celebration this year. Typically, on April 15th, instead of tax day, it's Jackie Robinson Day in the major leagues, and all players will wear 42. But it's going to be kind of a year-long celebration this year with honoring Jackie Robinson and his breaking the color barrier in baseball back with the Brooklyn Dodgers, a lot of people's favorite team.
Yeah. So just to finalize what we're doing here. So we both picked the Pats. I think the Pats win by 10 to 14 points. I think it's going to be high scoring. I'm picking 41-24 type thing. What do you think?
That high?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's going to be kind of over before it's over.
Yeah.
I don't know that it'll be that high a score. And I don't know that, as good as the Rams are, I think because of time of possession, I don't think they'll get a chance to score that.
And Goff is going to be that's a tall task for him, being a second year, third year in the league, to play in a Super Bowl like that. I mean,
but it's interesting because if Mahomes gets in there, I feel like he's going to be okay.
Yeah,
I know it's a Super Bowl
fine.
because you looked at him in his first conference championship game.
Yeah,
he didn't seem phased.
Pro Bowl, he was like having a good time and everything else. And then you got like Matt Ryan 2 years ago. He was kind of overwhelmed in that game, and he made some mistakes toward the end, and he's a lot more experienced than Goff.
Yeah,
talent-wise, I don't know, but NBA, it's a quick NBA. LeBron's gonna be back this week. He was out for a long time, like 20 games.
It's been
never been hurt.
Yeah.
Nets are coming on; they're playing pretty well.
Celtics are still good.
Anthony Davis wants out.
Yeah.
Pelicans. He wants to trade.
I don't know if I had my choice. I don't know if I'd want to play for a team called the Pelicans.
I think Anthony Davis is fantastic, though, man. He's I think it's a point where you've been in the league for X amount of years and you're a great player. You want to go win somewhere. The money is one thing, but you get enough of it.
I think it's one of two things. Obviously it's changed now. The Red Sox are not the lovable losers anymore, but the Red Sox had a lot of players that this is who I am, and now baseball's a little bit different because some of these kids they're 17 years old when they join an organization. So you're either loyal to your team, and you say, okay, I'm never going to win. Yep. But I think more in the modern era, and in the NBA it's different too because you're not with a franchise as you're developing. I mean,
and you guys are jumping around.
I've done everything. I played at the highest level in college. I'm playing the highest level in professionals. What else is there?
I get sick and tired of the same old thing on that and new players stuff. Anyway, all right. So we both picked the Pats. We'll see what happens. We'll be back in 2 weeks. We can analyze what our picks did, and then go from there.
So we'll talk about the Super Bowl in the next show, and then we'll do kind of a more Major League preview.
All right, boss. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Good job.